the next step is basically step 3, and of course we're going to assume that step 2 is already complete, where I've done my initial sorting of keywords and deleted the non-relevant keywords, and right now I'm just going to copy the relevant keywords and the volume, and I just want to prepare my template because I need to copy the keywords and volume to somewhere, and step 3 tells us where that somewhere is. So step 3 is to organize categories and further refine keywords, page title, title tags, description in a template. I'm going to share with you a few things in step 3. I'm going to share with you a concept which I put together. I call this the alternative title tag, and I'll explain to you why in a short moment. Synonym filtering, which is something I made up as well. Identify related topics and subtopics, which is part of the people also ask. And it all starts with the SEO Template 2.5. Now, in this case, the advantage of Google Sheets is that you do not need Microsoft Excel. And for the beautiful things that you can do SEO on the move, on your iPad, for example, because it's all online. Your tool is online. And the beautiful thing is that if I make any changes to it, the next time you come here, you will automatically be upgraded to the latest version without you having to do anything in that sense. All well and good, cloud solution, Google Sheets. And your first step is to go to vipurl.me/SEO template. It's important that you are not lost because you need to pay attention on the top right as to who has access to this template. Let me switch user and you'll see what I mean. So I'm no more using my first login, I'm using my other login, and when I click on the link, and this is where you need to pay attention. So I think this is a good place to continue. When we click on the link, we get to this template as it says, SEO Template by Fabian Lim, and you will need a Google account because in a short moment, you're going to save this template on your Google Drive. Because if you don't do that, then this template remains as it says over here, view only mode. Please don't request edit access because I'm not going to give you edit access. The right way to handle Google Sheet templates is basically to ensure that you're logged into a Google account on the top right hand side. You're going to go File and make a copy. So that's what you do. You type in the URL I gave you in your workbook, you will land here and you will not be able to edit. You will need to go to File, make a copy, and you will see the name. You can change this to your own project if you want to, for example, project 123, and then click OK. So what happens right now is that you can see from the labeling that a few things would have happened. They said save to drive earlier, and this is a new copy of the template to my Google Drive. So if I were to go to my Google Drive right now, and for those of you who are new to this, it is drive.google.com. And that's to show you that you can see that I saved the project 123 in my Google Drive, and I can recall this anytime I wish to because it's already saved into Google Drive. So this is the same as this right now, except this is live. And doing live, for example, I may change the service area from Singapore to Penang. And you will see that the gray area in the spreadsheet is where you don't want to be making any changes, which are columns F, G, and H respectively. Except for F, G, H, the rest of the columns or cells in yellow can be amended. And for those of you who are not familiar with how this works, let me just show you how it works. I'm going to change this back to Singapore. I'm going to go to the Google Sheets for Keyword Planner keywords, and then I'm going to go to Flight School. And right now, because I've enabled the keyboard shortcuts, I can shift right arrow, down arrow to select everything. I'm going to Control C, so you can use your mouse if you want to, but if you use keyboard, much faster. Control C, head over to the project sheet. I'm going to land on this cell, leave the top ones as an example, and start at row 13. So leave a space, row 13. In this case, you have to be on D because D is where the keywords are, and it will align to E, which is the average monthly searches. So I come here. Now I don't paste because you will lose the formatting on this template and it's going to look ugly. You're going to right click, paste special, values only, and hit it. And what happens right now is that the keyword list from the other side lands over here. And what happens after you paste the keyword and demand. The rest of the gray area gets populated, and you can see that the page title is populated. So is your first half of the title tag. Now what happened to the second half? That's the tagline, and the tagline is something you have to key in to complete the title tag. For example, Flight School Singapore, realize your dream to fly. And I hit enter, and you can see that the tagline gets inserted into your final title tag using basic Excel formula, which I've created for you already. So in this case, all you need to do is to come down one by one to key in an intriguing and unique tagline. Of course, before you do this, you still want to make sure that you're cleaning up your keyword list. And in this case, if you choose to delete a specific keyword, like maybe training aircraft, I want to remove training aircraft from the list. I'm going to have to go to the left extreme row 25, because you need to highlight the whole row, right click and delete row, and it disappears. At this stage, because there are formula that are part of the spreadsheet, everything you want to delete. For example, I don't want cabin crew training. I go to the left of the row, right click and delete row, or use my favorite keyword command. In this case, command minus does the same thing. I have a bunch of keywords here without even doing much that I honestly don't have on my website, because my current website, which I will show you, is merely 12 pages, but it covers bulk of the keywords in question, which leads to a point. Very rarely does a single page attract only a single keyword. Later on, when we head over to Keyword Planner, you will see the long list of keywords by the hundreds that this 12-page website attracts. And that's the exciting thing about SEO, because the traffic that you get is not only from your specific keyword. The traffic that you're going to get will come from everything that you say on your web page. In this case, private pilot license, private pilot knowledge tests. For example, let's see whether I have visibility there. As it turns out, I don't, because it's not that targeted on my homepage. But if I go pilot license, I would expect myself to be there. Yes. And it's this page that show up, and my Google Map listing shows up, which is crucial, which is over here. And notice that it says their website mentions private pilot license. How exciting is that? This is facilitated by GMB, Google My Business. And not only that, I've also integrated my schedule. How cool is that? And this is integrated with my scheduling system, my actual scheduling system on my website. And as people choose certain time slots, some of the time slots here become unavailable, which is really, really exciting. The system I'm using is CheckFront, and CheckFront is deeply integrated with Google Maps. Can you see this? You can literally check out based on your Google stored credit card, and this booking occurs in partnership with CheckFront, and you never have to leave Google Maps to schedule a simulator session with us. This is as deep an integration as it can be. And you can see that I have another listing over here, which is showing up in the SERPs for private pilot license. Of course, I can go long tail, and it goes to cost, which is also a search term, and there I go, obviously, because I've targeted a very specific page talking about the cost itself. Let's go back to the workbook, and just remember that Google Sheets require a Google account. You get to this link, and you need to make a copy, save it to your Google Drive, and from there you can modify your template as you see fit.